Hello, people. The lighting is not also great. Actually, I probably need to get um, something where we can see each other a little bit more outside of eyes, see the and teeth. And then maybe that's kind of pink. So anyway, you know that I'm here. It's this funny. It's this interesting though that we're having this conversation because I wanted to have dialogue on. I wrote the title as 888, and eight it really is another eight, but I don't have information readily. Um, so it's kind of going into a little story. So I just wanted to kind of share that with you. Um, Looking at something, what it was is there was an original conversation or thought about men or people. Let me just say people that there is some preference that is we were just looking at relationships, okay, and then when we're seeing these relationships and oh, one moment please. And we're looking at these relationships. I think that what it was is talking about caring, and when we're looking at caring, um, they were comparing relationships with women and talking the conversation about cars. You would see people like really really caring for their car, but then they don't want to care for their parents or care for their children. So it kind of went into then we ended up getting a car land and all that other kind of stuff. Here or there, it has something to do with not only your personal property but then also people. So what it was, let me move this around a little bit. Just busy, isn't it? Good Lord. Let me move this back a little bit. I'm like, okay, well, one moment. I think I'm trying to, I'm looking at this young lady. I was like, well, what's all of that? Yeah, that's interesting stuff. But anyway, um, let me try to make some sense of what I'm trying to say. That you, okay, I don't know, I wasn't quite ready to, I just wanted to say it. So we have been asked how we're able to change the world or what are our views about how we could change the world or things that we want to do and so on and so forth. Matter of fact, when they're asking you some questions like this, there's a reward for it, more or less. You write out poetry or you write, certain things. And I mean, this is really popular growing up. And then also today, you can write something, send it to people, and then, they review it. There's a panel to review the information, so on and so on and so on, right? So that became something readily available for people to kind of uh, um, be expressive and then allowing other people to kind of look at their ideas. So that's available, you know what I mean? Outside of just saying something that's structured about one thing or the other. Matter of fact, there was a piece, and I had told the young person about that piece was about men and then also well-being. Okay, so when you write it, now people are looking at it, they like it, no different than us doing the poetry yesterday, um, doing the poetry today. A lot of people have something to say. um, you can go to the library and you'll see that there's a lot of literary work inside those books that are trying to explain something. Okay, so anyway, I was just kind of given benefit of a conversation to say that readily you may have some people who who can I don't want to use that because I started off with it talking about a car, car to card, okay, and then it has something to do with appearance and us not making any assumption about people when they may have more than what you may see. You know what I mean? Me see in sight or sight and hear or hear and have. You know what I mean? So I was like, they putting so much on. Oh, this person have this person don't have that, but then they have a place. You understand where I'm coming from? So it was a thought that if someone was given as much as you want to give and change and have more for people to have things, then if you were looking at, let's just say, equally a story, people win lottery all the time, okay? We were already seeing that because it has something to do with light. But if you could give several people, let's say X amount of dollars, and say, okay, well, what you going to do with it? Now, whatever it is that I have in regards to giving to other people, will they do the same thing? Well, the thought was about the meal. We're not talking a meal for the government. It's talking about how land, okay, and the military, okay. But when you think about meal, that's MIL, okay. Then there is the meal, like when you think about eating or consuming something. So it's like, okay, well, if somebody won $1 million, what would they do with it? You know what I mean? Well, we have a lot of people who have won $1 million. You understand? So when we look at somebody who is looking at me and saying, okay, well, this is how we're going to work out some things, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, then it's already at a project. Matter of fact, when I was writing out this little information for a grant, I was just getting vexed. The reason why is though that money was there to kind of help out a little bit, though that money that come in my pocket, it wasn't $1 million. The money was already being extracted and being placed here, 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 but the take home pay was not $1 million. Now I need to factor in how much I think I want to get paid and all that other kind of stuff in regards to take home, even though money was being applied here and there. And yes, I was asking for money for this, for that, and et cetera, like that. Oh, well, one moment, here it is, the lowest bidder, or here the person. Well, all that may be good and fine. You start talking about bidding and grants and all that kind of thing. But the thing is that readily that information should have been there. So when you start talking about a meal like $1 million, and then you're like, people, man, I'm telling you, people have won $1 million playing lottery. Not just sitting there writing an expression about how they may feel about something. Somebody writes a book, they could get paid for writing the book. They'll have put it on Amazon or they'll put it on a lot of different things. They get it in paperback, they can sell it out of their hood of their car, all kinds of stuff. Well, readily, they may not win or get X amount of dollars like a good sale. They go in different places telling their story via a book or using another book and telling a story. We've had people write on the Bible and then, explaining here it is their theory about it. And they putting it in their name or their business name or whatever. You understand? So then what it was is I was having a conversation with somebody and, it was kind of going into, don't get me misunderstood, existence and nature and being connected to the universe. And so I had said to this person, I said, well, you know what? I didn't tell her it was grants or whatever, but I said, you know what? There's an opportunity right now. You can write a piece of paper, write a paper on, music, write a paper on social change, write it down because you know what? There's an opportunity that we could submit it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to look at $1 million and then take it all the way down to $1,000, but that's what they were offering. And then it says, well, how can this money help you with your business? I didn't put it on there, but I think I should have added a printer. But what I did say was ink. I need a file cabinet and ink That would help out a lot. That would help not only to make prints, you know, that will be available, but then it will also be able to file people's stuff or my stuff chronological order or numerical order. It just become for real. Young lady, it wasn't being funny, but I was just explaining to her what I was saying to her initially. We could talk about two men, two women, a man in a monogamous relationship with a woman, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But then after we're here and here and we meet at the middle, it's like either us trying to mend whatever it is that we have already and then also trying to have more. But if you're telling me that, okay, that meal went into a military or that meal went into our real estate, that meal went into how somebody else would spend that money, then at that point, somebody else's views or vision or sight or dreams, it's not the same as my own. This is the reason why you talk to different people so that you can get some people aligned and have understanding about mission and purpose. So when I said that to her, it was saying, okay, man, I'm writing down this little verse. Okay, how I'm gonna use music. Okay, how I'm gonna do this, how I'm gonna do that, right? Or I'm just thinking about it. And it was just like, okay, I've submitted one. I would like to submit more. Well, how do you think that we'll get to social change? Is this the truth? How do you think we can use this to say, okay, when this is some area about music? I know that that right now is rarely available. It's not easy, but it's just an easy piece to put together so that we could submit it to add it up from one thing to the other and to get where we're trying to go. That money, when you start looking at it, it wasn't $1,000 you put in your pocket and then you call all your own. It was $1,000 to be applied to something that was an activity for the greater good. I find it interesting ever more while I'm submitting and writing these different stuff, or even just sharing my thoughts. That when you begin to look at it, you have to involve people who are unfamiliar with that. It's one thing to have a print and put something in a frame, but then to have people be aware that outside of their family photos, that we have not groomed an interest, not only for history, but for art. And why are those things become important? We have a lot of interest in people who have been trailblazers and pioneers that they don't. There's no written history on that. They're considered unsung heroes. Now, some of the singing people, there is room for us to evaluate, review it, study it, and all that other kind of stuff. And then once, as a group, we begin to see things, now you have a common understanding about mission and roles. No, seriously, people. It wasn't to sit there and say that from $1 million to come to $1,000, that's only about 1%. No, because that's not even 10%. That's 1%. Negative. All of that has something to say. Well, one moment, looking at it, how is somebody going to treat you as good as I treat you? Or is somebody going to treat me as good as I want to treat me? That's how that went. In regards to not only maintenance, but caring for people. I think that we could look at some material and we'll see. You can go on different portals. The web is available to us. Matter of fact, there's even probably literature on it, on the different people who won grants, people who have won lotteries, and what they have done with their resources. Some things, yes, once you write certain things down and you're writing different people, they want to make sure that you are going about doing that work. Oh, well, here it is. These people that want to know too much. Well, if you wrote that, if you have an idea or a plan and they chose your idea and your plan, yes, the goal will be for you to send it and to submit it and to do what it was that you said you wanted to do. 1,000 and a meal is two. 1,000 and meal are two different things. And I was like writing this thing, and I was like, it was like and I said, well, after you do all that calculation, for real, some people wanted to put so much more in their project that they didn't even pay themselves. Now, how you gonna pay your bills? So this lady, okay, and that was, I mean, I think when you're talking about bills, making payments, and all that kind of stuff, you want to receive payments, right? So if you late, I'm late, but you don't care about that. When I'm on time, I'm on time. That means that I'm getting the money that's due to me, so I can care for my business. How did you get so consumed and wrapped into here my money and you owe me money? When I think about those bills that need to get paid and I miss a payment or something, they want to charge me more money. How in the world do you think you just gonna get away with doing all of that? As if here it is, we have understanding. There are people who have a lot of understanding, and guess what? They will be like, okay, if your attendance is not good, if you just there's a whole lot of stuff that goes down with that. The employer may say, "Ta-ta, see you later." You know what I mean? The understanding there really is literally people who are homeless and they have a home. You know, I can get in contact with the bank and say, okay, I couldn't pay that credit card bill today or this month or last month or whatever. And the problem with that is like I said, they want to add more money. For you to assume something, and that means that you more in my pockets than you trying to give me my money. I try to be good, and it was misunderstanding, but to clear that misunderstanding and call all the little Equifax and this and that, then at that point, that's a whole nother process to explain why the bank did me that way, and then this, that, and the other, and then they want their money is late. You got to go and they had call a collection and all that other kind of stuff, but you didn't pay me my money. So that's one thing for somebody to spend their time and they're asking for people for sponsorships and donations for a project. Then it would be that question why they're handling that money. They're doing it for a greater good. That money didn't say, okay, yes, it helped with purchasing products, it reserved the space. Then the question would be, how am I going to get paid? No thought into that. Oh, well, here it is, and the money and it is. Well, if we don't get X amount of dollars, we're not able to reserve the space. I've already put out a lot of money. If we think that we're hearing and we're listening, then yet here it is. You will already know. We will make that assumption like that. You have people who will to share their information, to share their products, to share their services because it's that thought. It will help their business. You understand? So somebody said, well, here is X amount of dollars. Well, first of all, I already said a little earlier. I guess I could have, it's not like that. I mean, does that make any sense? So what? I need $1,000 for this. I need to be able to do that. So why would somebody assume? And one moment, this $1,000 and went someplace else. $1,000 to reserve a building. That's how much it costs. If you give me $1,000 and then I reserve the building, there's a receipt for it. How am I going to use $1,000 and I'm saying I want to do something as a community project? So what about okay, you give me $100, $100, the $100, and it's coming, and you said, okay, well, this is a coupon or something, right? So now that $100 is going towards, let's say now it's a little card. Well, you already know that once I get that, it's going to be applied to your store. You're going to see it. Matter of fact, you can even probably see the things that I purchased. How much to think that from you? $100. When I started thinking, hopefully we could get to the dollar store and have enough products. I'm using. I listen. I said that I wanted to use it for my project or to implement a community activity. If I'm saying I need, hey, one moment, $1,000 is just not enough when you start talking about how you want to invite different people to participate, to feed, and for supplies. Oh, well, if this person give 1,000, this person, you're right. Now we're able to fill it up with some of the other things. And then yet readily, even looking at the art world, they want to know how people are going to get paid too for their services. They have given other people money to get them started. So it become a business. So when people are out there and they're asking other people for their resources, they want them to see their purpose and vision. If there's something more than something tangible like a piece of paper or a note, things that people can see readily, some people are able to provide that. I did. I wrote one of the things. I said, I need ink. We need paper. We need a file cabinet. And that was for capacity building for business. Well, who would have been the first client? Somebody who's already in business. And to get the dialogue going. Now you have to think about advertising and getting it to the right places and people and stuff like that. Yes, and make it happen. Oh, wow. You know what? Let me see if there's something else I can think of that can help get that thing started. And that stuff becomes so real. Matter of fact, there's a piece right now, and I just figured that my conversation and meeting different people, we're able to fill those people up in different places. But now you're looking at in kind and you're making connections and you're asking them the same thing. You want to raise money and this, that, and the other because you want to rent the venue. But if you want to tell me that you're giving money to somebody else, matter of fact, I called these people, and he said, "Well, we give it to the police for security." And I said, "Well, it would have been nice if that was coming from me." You know what I'm saying? Those rewards look good. It do. I don't know why, and they don't have anything to do with STEAM. Okay, boy, that's science, technology, engineering, math, and manufacturing went someplace else. Oh, art. Oh gosh. Oh, being in the clouds. And so it was just like, okay, well, we did all of that. Then there was somebody else's idea. It wasn't my own. The manifestation of here it is, your hopes and dreams, and then somebody else saying that they become the stumbling block. And then, hey, then that didn't have anything with the here it is, the community block grant. I think that was the first thing. It was like, okay, grant. Hope is alive. Hope is alive. And then that went to somebody want good for you, baby. I'm telling you, they wouldn't be trying to hamstring the help. When you think about here it is rearing your children, their love initially for the first 10 years is this unconditional love. They just love their mom and their dad. Is when they grow up and begin to learn things and stuff like that, they begin to want to be like, oh, no, I don't want to go to school. I don't want to do this, the hugs and less and all that. Maybe I'll say the first year, 10 or so years. They loving mama and daddy, giving all the hugs and kisses and things like that. And then now you put in chores. They don't want to do the chores. You did everything for them. 8, there's no way in. Well, just that thought. I wouldn't have considered a few things to be like, okay, well, we want to be ostracized and whatever. To be like, okay, it's just, oh, okay, well, how am I gonna get paid from that? Well, not only does that money help other venues, so the way I was looking at it, right? I may not have readily had X amount of dollars, but me to get other people to participate with a venue that may not be making all the money that they need to make, even for their facility. So I realized that when I'm asking for something, not only is me renting or looking at a particular venue, it helps them do other activities for other people. It becomes a social economic advancement to help. Here it is, a standing building, and even though I'm providing my services as an administrator, oh well, yes, I think that it would be really good to have this event here. Now those people get paid. Now, if what's name is concerned, oh well, how they gonna spend my money? And I just told you, okay, we have to think about security. We have to think. Now you want to make sure that not only is your money being applied securing the venue, but it's also securing the event, and that means the people that will be participating. I mean, this is some wild thoughts, people. We got to think about it. Oh, well, here this other. Well, we want to insinuate the art. There is a lot of different organizations and stuff like that, including corporations that focus on the arts. Okay, well, what about how we gonna get here? It is. I'm writing it now. So they're able to put it together. I got Sue narratives running out there right now. No, I didn't put any numbers on it. So Sue narrative is there, but that has something to do with human rights. And when I read a lot of those other things about social rights and all that kind of stuff is there. Somebody said, "Oh, well, here it is, $1,000." Okay, well, you can look at tables to make an event for say sessions. Those are additional tables because they're not the same tables. You got to think about renting that for the whole day. It becomes a program. Now you got to think about copies. I mean, really, now you got to think about cleaning up the place. Okay, well, what about this and what about that? People who do art now having them need to get paid and this, that, and the other. Hey, I told the lady, I said, well, we asked for $5 and yet I said 50 cents, but I'm like, I ain't even 50 cents, maybe 5 cents. Wait, they ain't going anywhere because that money wasn't applied for that. It couldn't reserve that. They didn't ask for that. So now when we start looking at okay, well how these other things could take place and to say, okay, well listen, going to door in the neighborhood and then yet readily we have that process where people are writing grants, it becomes unfair. What can we do with that? The reason why grants are given to people rarely early in advance because people can reserve the space to have the venue. They get people involved and stuff like that. They have their little projects, their committees, their little groups. They can start talking about it because those resources are there. Hey, now somebody said, well, that was a neighborhood effort. Now, if I was doing a neighborhood association, that would be something a little different. Really, it would. I was walking down the street and yes, glory, I do. And they were fixing the road and I said, "You know what?" I said, "Y'all should consider maybe when y'all cutting the tree, cut it from the top first, not the bottom." Matter of fact, you would think you have given priority to where the trees are located because they did ask us if we wanted trees in our yard. Now, if you see the sidewalk and stuff all lifted up and everything, don't you think you would have put priority to where the trees are first? Because you want to tell me that it's for people with disabilities. If we're looking at a wheelchair, any of those things, then readily, if you're not looking at the trees first and you already know that the roots have come up on them and all that kind of thing, then that means that they're not going to be able to roll across it because you want to just talk about everything else. Oh yeah, I mean you here on the streets. Did you see that water hydrant is over there and it's leaking over there? I mean it's just pouring out a whole lot of water. Did you see it? This dude gonna say call 311. Pretty much. Oh boy, yes. It's just like wow, some things, and you can just have conversation about one thing or the other. But like I said, when you have your ideas about things that you want to do, it's just that. You're right. You know what? It was going somewhere, a benefit for the community. Now to call out different people and say, hey, well, I don't know if I wanted to do any vending. Now that would be a whole nother something else, especially when you're asking other people for money. How else would they make money? Well, I'm asking them if they have any trinkets or anything that they could give back to society, whether this is a business card, so we can give them information packages. Those bags cost money. Any of those promotional goods, like I just that thing cost like $10 plus, and that was on sale. That doesn't speak for everything else. So whenever we're looking at the opportunities and we're submitting something, it takes an effort to get here it is logical, not only logical, but to bring forth here it is those things that is a interest to you because it's coming from you is your thoughts or whatever to make those things happen. Then while we said all of this and they want to sit there, girlfriend, how did you know I like you think I got it going on? Oh, they want to talk about here it is that early morning walk and want to go back and be like, okay, well that cup costs $1. And I think that once we start calculating one thing or the other, and we say, okay, well you got a 5 cup coffee machine right there, and then okay, that's there. Then you think about cups, so you could already have cups and stuff like that. Okay, well then that amount and this, and it'll be $10 and this for okay, you get the sugar, the cream, and then you had a coffee. Okay, $3 and this, and I mean, I guess if you're looking at let's say $30, and then you say, okay, with $30, it could be you save 10. Looking at that. I mean, it depends on what size you're getting your sugar or the container. Matter of fact, it would probably be more cheaper to just get a pack of let's say drinks opposed to saying 50 cents 50 cents here 50 cents there, because the thing is that when you purchase it in bulk you are saving a little bit more money. Not that people don't think that way, it's just that now where you're going to store it. What if you want a cold drink and that one is room temperature? Then you got somebody else who want to think that, oh, okay, well, you okay because you're not coming down my head about making sure you eat. They were singing on here it is nothing, and that was like the complaint. Somebody else wanted me to be content, and yet I'm out here working. Yes, I guess you know what you have that idea that you're content, but yes, 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 you want to make more than $5 an hour. You shouldn't have even used the space that way because it's already providing a service. But yet you want to sit there and ask me how I'm doing about me, and then yet you want to be like you want to be continuous. And that is the thing. Being able to share and give the torch to somebody else, it was not just remedial here, people. Oh, $1,000 here, $1,000 there, and all of that. Not so much about one thing and the other. There are people who actually, and that's interesting. That once you make a piece, but hey, that's just the way we would have done it. Let's put it like that. I can't. I don't want to share that information to hear it is the identity of how I would like to have our organization. Matter of fact, let me write this. Write a couple of people and tell them thank you. Even though I have done somebody, from early on, she said, "Oh, the dog is woo, woo, woo." And I see, I look every now and again and say, I want to give another note to say thanks. I'm sorry, I'm just like that. But for somebody else to sit there and say your ethics, and now we want to sit there and blah, blah, thumb, and you want to worry me about something that you hear it is you saying. And yet here it is I'm doing. The did done do. Ing. Ooh. Anyway, and this is now we're talking about money, we're talking about resources, the 8-8. Yeah, the 8-8. No different than yet somebody was saying, I said, well, listen, let's have dinner. And he said, well, this, and I said, well, that's not a good exchange. At least I don't think so. I'm like, what? There's a whole lot of other things that we could do. You know what I mean? I don't know, people. I just, no, it's not coming from me. What I said was, as I said to the young lady, I didn't go into all the details about this because it wasn't really aligned with our conversation, kind of sort of to go into details about it. But I was like, right now, there's an opportunity for $1,000 that's asking about social change and music. And since you're doing your thing, how could we actually get money for that, for a project? And of course, I already said that I am interested in filling up X amount of days. And then it's interesting. These are people who's going to be like, okay, they're registering, they're signing up, they're participating with those activities. And then I've even in-housed a lot of the stuff. I in-housed it to the people who are given to their employees to within their organizations to make those things happen. Imperfect being, and yet I know we could talk about the kaleidoscope. We could talk about here it is the binoculars. We could talk about here it is audio devices and amplifiers and all of that. But it doesn't change the fact that somewhere near, not Job or Job, but that they have participated in the humane aspect of our rights, an inhumane aspect of our rights, our liberties. Chick. All right, people. I'm like, for real. It's like, okay, well, there's so many different things. The details is not there. The reason the details are not there is because, now, okay, if you're writing something and it has a budget, you're going to write within that budget. But if you're asking me to write within that budget and I'm looking for donors, it's just not going to happen because it becomes false hope. There's that one thing that's there. Then you have to think about decorations, and then you're only asking for X amount of dollars. Drapes cost money alone. Just to look at drapes, it could be anywhere. It could be $1,000. That would have been a benefit for here it is this establishment to fix the electrical and to fix the drapes. Not only was it a benefit to us, but it would have been a benefit to other people later who may have wanted to use it. That was at the venue. To say, okay, well, listen, we'll paint here to purchase, to get this and to get the decorations and all that. Let me let you know right now. And that was just the stage. If we were talking about, making a one that really literally can be X amount of dollars. But let's go back to here it is that thought. When you are not trying, then that's just what it looks like. All right. Talk to y'all later. Oh, and I'm liking here it is this little area right here because we have a light. The other area was somewhat dark. Yes, honey, there is light in the dark, and there's dark in the light, and all that yin yang too. Anyway, people, yeah, so here it is. Oh, this costs us money. Oh, that money was going to somebody else. It was going to the store. The attendees is going to enjoy the ambiance of the environment. It wasn't lining my pockets. The money was going someplace else. But yeah, you're right. Yes, we want to be able to win the money. It goes to where we're going to say we're going to put it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, audacity do have hope. Peace out, people. I'm about to bust out in tears. And it's like, oh, okay, well, this your winning. Hey, we're going to get this so we can help your people. Then why is it 50 Shades of Gray, 50 Shades of Brown? Over here, that's how they have it. It's like, wow, it's just way, way, way over there. With it, here it is. We didn't get it. It didn't go where it needs to go. So that means that that money would have been circulating inside our community because now we are patronizing our businesses locally. There's a store right now. Say, here it is, LB Glebe for me to buy all them little barrettes. And then we can put those in goodie bags. You understand where I'm coming from? Getting that money to circulate back in the community. And this is how we start seeing prosperity. But if you're like, oh, see, what you gonna do with it? I need to get the venue. I need to get supplies. I need to get food. All that money circulating right here in the community. But how's that helping us? We give our donation dollars and stuff like this. Hey, contact me. I provide consultation management. I provide consultative services. Matter of fact, I've been talking about BB&D all day. We could talk about a whole lot of stuff. Matter of fact, go to www.streetmeatcompany.org. You will find a lot of different questions right there. Oh, well, here it is. Well, yes, well, you need to get to the other place. How are we gonna get there? Yes, provide donation to me. Because the thing is like when I'm going over here, there's another project. You want to go? You want to participate? The same thing. Now you need resources too. I have my friend. He contacted me, right, and he's going, and it's just like, okay, when you have a friend, you're a friend. The reason why the reference is there because now it's talking about here it is a friend that and then children. That means somewhere in there, the day of light, somebody wants to sit there and be like they want to monkey around about hope and aspiration and human right. They tell us about security, prosperity, diplomacy, democracy, development. I don't know. For some of this, we're misunderstanding. A lot of people may not know. And to take us in the middle that way with all that Illinois and people lacking understanding because they didn't hear from the tell and the ask. To go through that, it's almost as if they want to say that they use your own people to be in poverty. But woman, we do see all of them. I don't know, the sky. Oh Lord, we do see them. We could talk about here it is. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. It just becomes so truth. And I wanted to say this that when we went into this little own conversation, I ain't gonna feel you, honey. It just seemed like there's a theory. Some stuff you don't want to be putting it in the earth that way. But I'm telling you, I don't know if you've ever seen that little emoji where the tears are just falling out. And I just said, well, there are people who have like their own business, right? But it was all as if they wanted to separate us or segregate us with all this owning. I said, sure, we want to be owners, like we have things that we could care for, but ever more the maintenance too. Caring for, here it is, not only the things that you build, but learning how to build on it, expand on it, and this, that, and the other, the truth. But this own went into 50 Shades of Gray, 50 Shades of Brown. You understand? I said, well, one moment, well, our money is tied into here it is, this economic system, just like anybody else. And yet here it is, we're going to ask, and we're going yes, we're going to ask for support. And we're going to tell them. You understand? But when I think that here it is, the fabric of a fabulous blanket. and the upheaval or the unravel of it. Lord have mercy. We saw here it is the open book with Harriet Tubman. Oh, we see it. Flames of fire, people, liberty, 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 liberty. And then we gotta be cognitive of all this liberty. Because that's what I said, it went in someplace and how it was reeling into here it is, skits and schemes. That's interesting because if you're sitting there having an argument or a thought about your protection, there may be some things that you add inside of all of that. No different than, oh, okay, here it is, stories, the misunderstanding of a word. So that you could be talking about safety, security, and peace, but then it'd be like, well, what are you talking about? Whew, that truth. That flames of fire of liberty could be something other than here it is, their own words, your own thoughts, but then something else that is kind of trying to help make two. Man, this person needs. Okay, anyway, peace out, people.